Hey nieces and nephews, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Auntie Lauren. And today, you guys, we're going to be making stovetop lasagna. So first, we're going to start out by chopping up some onions. Me preferably, I like the sweet Valdelia onions. You can use any onion you prefer, but I think for this dish, the sweet Valdelia onions will definitely do the trick. Next, we're going to mince some garlic. I, for content purposes, of course, mince my garlic by hand, but you can definitely use the garlic that already comes minced in that small little jar at the grocery store. Now, if you've been following me on all my social media, you know I live for a good cast iron skillet. I can't exactly remember is this my 14 or 16 inch cast iron, but I know it is manufactured by Lodge. Once I figure it out, I'll be sure to link it in my description box. For this recipe, I'm going to be using ground beef. You can use whichever meat you decide if you decide to use meat. And I'm going to add it to the pan with my onions and garlic. I'm going to be using some seasoning salt, some granulated onion, absolute favorite garlic pepper. Once I break up the meat a little bit with a spoon, that's going to help it brown out a little evenly. And then after that, I'm going to drain all the oil off the meat and return it back to my cast iron skillet. No shade. I know store-bought sauce is easier, but homemade is where the love is. I'm using a can of tomato sauce. And once I pour that out, I'm going to refill the can with some water and pour that in also. I'm also going to add a can of diced tomatoes with a bit of tomato paste, and that's going to help it get that thick and hearty flavor. Now I'm going to add about a tablespoon of basil and oregano, a bit more garlic, salt, and pepper. And please don't cancel me, but yes, I put sugar in my red sauce. To me, it just cancels out the taste of straight tomatoes. So I'm going to let the sauce cook for about maybe 30-45 minutes before I add my noodles in. And look, I'm just a big fan of oven-ready lasagna noodles. I rather boil my noodles inside of my meat sauce than to boil them in water because it brings the flavor, baby. I'm only like using one layer of noodles, and after I layer those noodles down, I'm going to scoop a little of the meat sauce on them, make sure they're covered, and then I'm going to cover up my pan. And I'm going to let this cook for about 20-25 minutes. And while that's doing this thing, I'm going to go ahead and whip up this ricotta filling. For the ricotta filling, I'll mix together the ricotta cheese and egg. And the egg is like a binder to keep the lasagna from falling apart. Basil, parsley, and garlic salt. Some grated Parmesan cheese. Chopped spinach, because I love me some chopped spinach. So once we get it all mixed in together, our noodles should be ready, and we're going to uncover our pan and go ahead and smooth this ricotta cheese filling on top of those noodles. So now that I have added on the ricotta cheese, I'm going to go ahead and add a little mozzarella cheese that I've cut some spinach up inside. And then I'm going to top it off with some smoked paprika. I'm going to cover my skillet and let it cook for maybe about 5 to 7 more minutes, just to allow the cheese to get all melty and bubbly. Thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode of Cooking with Auntie Lauren. I'm looking forward to bringing you guys so much more delicious food and recipes. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of it. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And don't forget to bless your food and wash your hands before you eat. Peace.